LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to Beginning Maya 2015. So today we're going to do a little bit of polygon modeling. So we're going to do just a little bit, and just so that we could get an idea of the polygon, how to set it up, this and that, and how to model and modify stuff. So let's go ahead and start the timer and see what we can do in 15 minutes. And if we don't do it all in 15 minutes, then we will just move on to the next tutorial. Next tutorial. All right, so let's go ahead and just snap it to the center. And then what we're going to want to do first is right away we're going to want to do a subdivision width of 2. Actually, it's going to probably be depth. Okay, there we go. So you see that we have a slice right down the y-axis there. Oh, sorry, that's right down the x-axis. Y is up and down, Z is over here. See, this is Z. Okay. So next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and go into our polygon modeling tool and here on polygons. So the next thing that what we're going to do is we're going to do a basic spaceship. So let's go ahead and select this object, and let's make it like, let's make it a little bit longer and a little bit wider here. So this is going to be like the base of our spaceship here. And basically what we could do here, and I already know that I'm going to cancel what I did here first, and then I'm going to set this to actually 4. You'll see here in a second, because I already know how I'm going to model it. So let's make this a little bit wider, a little bit longer. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and start modeling a body. So what we're going to do, or like the cockpit view of it, but I see that I should probably go make this a little bit taller as well. That looks a little too, okay, that's fine. So let's go ahead and select all these faces, and then what we're going to do is we're going to learn our first tool. This is the Extrude Tool. Basically what it allows us to do is take a face and extrude off of it. So now you see that we have an extruded surface, and you see here that we have a selector here with a circle around it. So that allows us to do our most of our stuff. Now if you zoom in here and you click on one of the boxes, you notice that there's a box there in the center, and it allows us to kind of, you know, modify that and pull it. So you see that we have something that that more relates to what we want to do. So let's like have this come to a pretty close point. And you see there it's kind of screwing up the rest of the things. So what we're just going to do is we're just going to select these faces and actually scrunch them down. And then what I could do is I could just pull on the individual face and look and see how I want to shape it. I want it to be not nearly as long, as wide. So maybe like that. And then let's go ahead and do that extrude again and create a more, so I'll just do like, so what you could do, I'm going to Control Z because I knew I could have messed up the extrude. So let's do this and then like kind of point it forward like that. So that was the rotate tool you saw there, and that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is drop these edges a little, this edge here a little bit, and actually move it forward so we kind of get this cockpit look. Now the reason why, the first tip I would like to give is that it's a lot better when you have something that is modeled inside this first preview mode, because remember if we go into object mode and we hit 3, there's our smooth. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do all of our stuff in the unsmooth mode, and then we'll just preview it in the 3, because it's a lot easier, as you see, to model this way. Now we are going to go ahead and go here, and then we're going to go to it kind of moved this. Yeah, that's a lot different than how it was. Anyways, so we can work with that. So let's say that for all purposes, let's say that we took this guy and what we wanted it to do is we wanted to extrude each of these. Oops. Let's just bring this out as a wing. You see already that we got a basis already started of a wing here. So let's go ahead and... So we want it to like narrow down to really narrow edge here. You notice that some of our stuff is a little trippy right here. This edge, this vertex here is a little tripped out. Let's see if I can straighten that vertex out. This should be snapped. Also, I forgot to mention there at the beginning how I snapped it to the origin. You hold X, that snaps it to the origin. And right now I'm going to tell you a quick trick how we're going to work with this. So what you're going to do is do faces and go to top view. And what you're going to do is just go straight down this way. And just go ahead and delete all those faces. Now, there's this cool thing in Maya modeling that allows us to just deal with half points. So, for example, if I did this and I did this guy right here, mirror geometry tool. Okay, so it did not pivot on the right direction. Okay, so yeah, you just go through here. I want it to flip about the... So X positive is no good. So it's going to be Y negative. I guess it's a Z. Okay, so there we go. We got the pivot, and we're going to set the pivot to 0. Let's pivot to 0. And this pivot to 0. There you go. So you see they're actually not quite perfect. So the merge threshold I'm going to bump up. I'm going to click on this. Oh, merge vertices. There we go. Alright, so now you see that we have this all done up. So let's go ahead and delete those faces again now that you see that we have that mirror geometry tool, which is right here. Let's go ahead and re-delete that so we can work with one side and allow us to do a lot of other things here. So I don't like how this wing is very long at the end, and I don't really like too much of how this is. So what we could do here is select the whole thing, oops, and make it smaller. You know, a little more streamlined look. That's a little better. So now we got kind of something that we want here. So let's go ahead and what we're going to do is we're going to extrude in a jet. So let's go ahead and extrude out a jet. So I'm hitting Q so that I could select these a little better. Let's just do these 4 because it will mirror onto the other side. Let's go ahead and extrude this out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually let's actually go like right here and extrude this. And then what I'm going to do is you could actually take these faces and delete it. and then take this edge. So if you notice this, I'm double clicking. If you could probably hear it on my mic. If you haven't noticed, this right here is double click. You double click to go all the way around. And then what I could do is I could actually extrude that edge. And see how it's all freaked out? Click this guy, this little blue thing here, and it'll go inside there. So now we could actually build sort of a jet, so like you can't really see inside per se. There we go. And now since we got that, we go to, there it is, mesh, and you go fill hole. So now when we mirror it, we do mirror geometry, because actually what I could do, let's go ahead and check the mirror geometry, and it doesn't want to do it again. So let's go ahead and change that. So it should be here, mirror geometry. What we wanted to do is we wanted to go to the axis there, and we wanted to merge the vertices. So let's go ahead and hit undo, and then we're going to go back to the edge, and let's go ahead and do the mirror geometry tool here. We're going to do edit mesh, mirror geometry. I guess I just gotta get this to work right now because it won't let me delete that actual component. Okay, so I want the pivot Z to be 0. So you go 0, 0, 0, 0, and you want it to merge. Uh-oh. Okay, so there we go. So merge the vertices, and you see there that we have the two blasters. I mean the two like jet engines. So this is our smooth mode. And you see here that the front that I knew was probably going to be like that. The front is way too big, and why is it not letting me select it now? Yeah, they did a whole bunch of random stuff in this new version. So here I'm left clicking and hitting shift to select all the vertice faces here. And what I could do is make these as big as the I connected a vertex there. Let's just make it like that. Okay, so that's a little better. Let's go ahead and go back into object mode. Let's go ahead and bring this guy up a little bit. You see here, for some reason, it added another subdivision, so let's move this guy forward. You can definitely see now that it merged a vertex in there, which is probably not bad. I mean, we could probably merge all these vertices. So yeah, so I know I missed a couple of examples here. So let me tell you all the shortcuts that we used in all of this. Okay, so you right click to get to all this stuff, and you can click edge, double click will click the whole combining edge. Then we could go back to object mode, check the object mode, and you hit 3 to smooth, 1 for not smooth, and you know, Q, W, E, R. So Q is select, W is move, E is to rotate, and R is to scale. So basically what I did here to do all this stuff is a combination of our first tool, which is extrude, and our second tool that I used once was fill hole. Right here, fill hole. Which basically you just select an edge and it like planars the hole. So see here we got these nice you know, little jet engine things on the back that we could also still, you know, put in. That looks a lot better. And then you could color this, which we'll go over next tutorial. Next tutorial we'll go over how to color and do all that different kinds of stuff. And so if you want to continue messing around with this model, go ahead and do so. I made a couple errors here that I could fix, but I don't want to go into those workflows yet. So like here, you see all of these vertexes are not attached. I should have attached these vertexes, which I guess I could show you. That is, let me see if they moved it. Merge vertices. So I could do this and then merge the vertices together. And then re-sew this part back together. But anyways, yeah, that's basically what we got. So let's go ahead and take a look at the render. So the render's not going to smooth, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into object mode, and then we're going to hit this smooth button. And now it is smooth, and let's take a look at the final render here. So of course this is with all the render globals at low, which we'll go over next tutorial, the global renders and how to add color and etc, etc. But so in this tutorial I went over the basics of polygon modeling. And those, I mean, you could basically build a lot of stuff with those simple tools. And I'm not completely sure how. Oh, when I smoothed it added in these lines here, and it added in way too many lines. I don't need that many lines, so we'll go over that later on how to you know, take away quality or resolution here. This is quality and smoothness. This is where we don't need it to be. We need it to be more smooth around the wings, but you see that these are relatively smooth. So this would probably print pretty well on a 3D printer, I think. This is a cool little plane. Also print on a 3D printer, or for a game, maybe you could go back into. I wonder why it's not. Okay, so that's why it's not working. So try. Okay, so try Legacy Default Viewport from now on. That's the one we're going to use because it actually shows you your actual mesh there if you click on it with a smooth. Because if you notice, if you go the other one, it shows you nothing. So we'll use the Legacy default. So a lot of different things here in the new Maya, so I need to get used to that, and I'll pass those on to you. But overall, it looks very, very cool, and like I said, you know, it's pretty decent in the rendering view. Looks very good from far away, you know, and then if we get into a lot of rendering, we could do particle physics and, you know, make it fly around and do all that kind of stuff. Alright, so in one last recap, we have the extrude, which will allow us to go like this and hit extrude, and then see how it's going sideways if we want it to go straight up. So this is matching the global, so we can make it go straight up. And then we have edit mesh, fill hole. And we'll do a lot more polygon modeling and go further into it, and maybe even do just another example with probably doing the same thing. Alright, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. And thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. One last thing is, if you want to keep this guy, go ahead and hit File, Save Scene As, and then go ahead and put your name and your file location, etc., etc., which I will do right after this video to make sure that I'm working with this same model with you guys. Alright, so I'm going to get the reference book for this series soon, and if you have any questions, email me. Thanks for watching, and take it easy. Peace.